Welcome to the picturesque village of Boxford, home to around 500 people. This village is homely and welcoming, especially in the bright and pleasant weather of July. This beautiful scenery sets the perfect backdrop for the efforts of a 2012 production. In the quaint village hall, we find the cast and crew of the Watermill's famed Boxford Masques rehearsing tirelessly under the careful direction of Morris.
The lady this play is about wrote these masks in between 1908 and 1912, just before the First World War. I think she wrote four or five masks, and we started reviving them on the Hill. So we revived them in 2000, 2004, 6, 8, and then a gap of 4 years while we raised sufficient funds to do this. But because we were at a different space, and because it was this particular rather glorious space you can see over my shoulder, we thought it would be really appropriate to write about the lady who founded the masks in the first place. So Geraldine created this fantasy about Charlotte Peake and her husband Harold Peake to be set in front of this house.
My name's Jonathan Harding. I'm playing Scally. My character Scally is a Fagin type character. He's got his little kids to run around and steal things from him, so when the play's being done, he's offered to sort of be a fetcher and carrier for the lady of the house, and basically just tries to nick as much as possible.
I love working with a great age range. We've got children of 6 to actors of, well, I'm not going to say their age, some of them, but they're quite old, and they all get on like a house on fire and really love doing it and talk to each other and share their skills, and it's just a great privilege working with them, really. It is a proper community show, a proper old-fashioned community show. I got my own 2 boys, Dylan and Louis, playing Fitch and Bill in the show, and I'm very proud of that, because when I started doing the masks they weren't even born, so now they're in this show, so that's brilliant.
Beth, who plays Charlotte, actually, she said to me, will there be singing and this, that, and oh Lord, and she came along to the audition. Next thing you know, she got the main character.
The first time I actually had to stand in front of everybody and attempt to put a tune together. Yes, that will be the most memorable, and that will probably live in my nightmares for a while.
The role of choreographer, just involves obviously choreographing all the dances, and it's also a bit like we just do a little warm-up just to get everyone, because people come after work, and we do a bit of a limber and just sort of getting the blood pumping and all of that.
Bettina is just a dream choreographer. She listens to the songs, she looks at the company, and she just matches the two together brilliantly. I mean, you've got to remember we're dealing with an amateur company, and many of them have never danced anything like professionally. They've been to a few discos, watched celebrity come dancing and thought, oh well, that looks a bit hard. But what she's managing to get out of them is fantastic, really impressive stuff. And the detailed work she's done on these particular dances is remarkable.
Kiss writes the music first, and then I obviously know what each song and dance, what it's meant to be about, and then I take it from there. So especially this time around, because all the kids have done all the music before, so I would just could listen to that, and then usually the music tells you what style of dance goes with it anyway.
Paul Kissorn is my name. My involvement is musical director and composer, and I'm never grumpy, ever.
Paul was away for a lot of the rehearsals, so Sophie, his assistant, took up his music and has been doing the initial musical direction of the piece. And Sophie Cook is fantastic. She's come up through the young company at the Watermill. She's a wonderful musician. She's studying at LIPA now in Liverpool. I think she's got a great career ahead of her, really. But the music that Kiss wrote for it is utterly terrific. I think it's the best music he's produced for the Masques to date. His brief was, what does an Edwardian rock band sound like? And let's do that.
I had a chat with Aid, who was directing it, and we talked about it. And the first thing he said to me was, "It's Downton Abbey with music, so it'd be Edwardian music." And we ummed and ahed about what that might mean, and then it came back to what does Edwardian plus rock equal? Answer Sgt. Pepper. So that's the starting point we took for the music. It's hard to get people to come in on time. It's hard to get volume. You can sing louder all the time, but and then someone comes up to us, well, they're not singing loud enough. So I go, well, sing louder, and then it's just a circular conversation that goes round and round and round and round. So, but what's it like? It's interesting. It's interesting. Essentially, what's great for me is that I get free rein, really, with Geraldine's lyrics, which I try not to change. I try not to do too much shoehorning with the lyrics. You know, like I try and let the line. The thing I always do with Boxford is it's whatever line I get, because we get the lyrics first, is to go with the whatever meter or scan of the lyric is, rather than shoehorn it into what I happen to be doing. So you get odd bar lengths and things like that, and that makes it interesting because it pushes you into something that you wouldn't normally do. Do you know what I mean?
It was a scene where I was initially just supposed to be stood there after sniffing some dodgy stuff that I'd found in one of the rooms, you know, while I was looking around trying to steal. And I thought I was just supposed to be stood there being drunk, and next thing I know, Ada's got me being carried, thrown on the grass, dragged over what ended up being flower pots. And which is the way that Boxford goes, you know, always. You just think, oh, that's right, I've got that scene, and then it's like, oh, Aid comes up with another lovely idea. And it's, well, it always works out, but yeah, that was quite sudden.
The rehearsals are lovely and you slowly sink into your part, but it's only when you're sitting there in front of an audience, a live audience, that you really, really know your character and they come to life, because it's feeding off the reactions of the audience as much as anything else. And I think that's where it's so far removed from film or something like that. You actually bring an energy onto the stage and it's fed off the audience itself.
My heart was hers. You lost your heart, well that's a heart well lost. The scars don't heal, the silver blades don't rust. They daily trim your soul off like a crust. What's love to them but boredom turned to lust? When the sharp serrated laugh, she cut my bloody heart in half. Well, it simply passed the time. That heart of mine.
This is the first time I've smoked, and one of the only nights that it's actually lit was the night that my mum was in the audience, and she's never known me to smoke or knew that I was smoking in this or seen me ever smoke before, and I was puffing away and going for it, and then after the play I just got shouted at. I was one to if he was an armed summons.
Ah, quite.
Go on.
Of course we're trying
Didn't really like, did it?
It's kind of tricky in the wind here.
Oh, it certainly is. Tell me about it.
I'll have one more go.
We'll have one more go, and then we'll just see what happens.
Yes.
I should stop smoking anyway.
No,
I'm not going to smoke today.
Nearby Welford Park, technical rehearsals are underway. The production team are hard at work, preparing the set, and the actors are due to arrive soon. Ugh.
Well, Welford Park is a place I've been coming to for a while now, because I've been rehearsing plays here. Debbie Puxley has let me use the old laundry room, which is a suite of rooms behind the building there, to rehearse outreach plays for years. So I've got to know Debbie and Jimmy Puxley quite well. So it seemed a natural place to come to when we realised we won't be able to use the old site again in the foreseeable future. And Welford has quite a bit in common with Charlotte Peake's house. Charlotte's house wasn't quite as big as this, but it was the vicarage in Boxford, which is a big house, and the original plays, the original masques, were done on her lawn before she moved up the hill and excavated this kind of natural amphitheatre up there. So it seemed very appropriate to kind of try to recreate, albeit on a bigger scale, Charlotte's original work. And Debbie, bless her, has allowed us to come into her house and invade her privacy for a week. I'm not sure how she'll feel about it in a week's time, but I hope she doesn't regret it.
Hi, my name's Nick Flintoff and I'm the production manager for the Boxford Masques. The best part of the process has just been the fact that it's a community show. It's about everybody having a good time, and that's very much part of the ethos of the show. It's always great working with Aid. He's such good fun. He seems to get blood out of a stone from people, which is fantastic. I can't believe that he's managed to get Debbie to do the things that she's done in his house. It's extraordinary, really.
Come and have a picnic out in this wonderful garden before you see the show. Glass of champagne and a pork pie, and then walk in there and be thoroughly entertained for 2 hours as the sun goes down behind you and England's green and pleasant land oozes and swishes and pops and crackles around you.
Started on a brisk Saturday night. There were about 10 to 15 of us camping, and there was one man, Simon Fenton. He dressed himself in a patchwork multicoloured bubble sort of hat and a blue wrap around sort of sheet with a dolphin across it, like it was something beautiful that I'd never witnessed before. And he wrapped it around his body, and he wore amazing knitwork, and he sat in a chair and we all sat around him, and upon the iPod dock station where music comes from, he placed in his iPod and put the master of James Taylor, the master of acoustic songs, blues and country, everything you can think of, and he serenaded to 15 of us all his favourite James Taylor songs, whilst intoxicated on whiskey, champagne, wine, rum. It doesn't matter what he had. All that matters is that he is a god among men. And I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Here's my kind of fight, a poacher's delight. A goose to be cooked, still rules at night. Shouldn't have looked, or you don't think it's right. First rule of the sport is not to get caught. Like a bird in the gin, but now I recall. The first rule's to win, yeah, now I recall. So to hell with your Queensberry rules. Keeping your gloves on is only for fools. They shoot some day, please, no more bets.
I think it's safe to say that the 2012 Boxford Masques were a resounding success. Now it's time for the curtain to fall. But ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you enjoyed the show and were somewhat satisfied.